This video is brought to you by SolidWorks, providing engineers and design teams with complete, intuitive 3D solutions.
Greetings everyone, welcome back to a brand new podcast video. My name is Ismail.
My name is Roshan Vejanapalli.
My name is Kapil Taspa.
And my name is Amar Salman. Today we're going to be going through a few main things. First, we're going to start off with FGC India's journey to where they are now. Second, we're going to talk about the main FGC highlights for maybe like the week. So first, let's go into FGC India's journey and let's watch this news broadcast that was broadcasted by CNBC about what they're doing so far. We'll give our reactions to it. So let's get started, guys.
3, 2, 1.
5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. You're still with us on Startup Street. Now, the 2023 First Global Challenge will bring together thousands of teams from across the globe for a robotics face-off in Singapore from the 7th of October. 5 students from Goa are representing India, and my colleague Akhil Vishwanath caught up with them as they put their robot through final trials before takeoff. Take a look.
What's FGC India?
Alright, so that's like the main thing we need to discuss, right? FGC is like completely different from what we do with FTC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like FGC is where like every country has their own team. So it's not where FGC where there's multiple teams, right?
So there's like a team that's like a representative for the entire country?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting because from what I understand, every country has a team, and I think the US's team is Technibots. They're actually from Texas where we are right now. So I think they've been the team for the past 2 years. So I think that's like really cool because there's different teams. I think it's based on who wins votes.
And the World Championships in Singapore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Like they're representing the entire country of India. Like, it's pretty sick. I want to learn more about this. Yeah.
Continue watching.
It's been raining in Panaji, but where I'm going in the capital city of Goa, it's sunny, filled with activity and a sense of urgency. I'm heading to the training arena of 5 students who will represent India at First Global's 4-day International Robotics Challenge in Singapore from the 7th of October. Team India has 4 boys and a girl. With 3 of them under the age of 14, Team India is going to be one of the youngest among 200 participating countries. Now, let's go meet Team India, watch them train and run final checks on their robot.
I think that's really cool that they're like one of the youngest teams.
How does a team of 5 manage to pull something like this? Like,
14-year-olds too.
Yeah, was it 5?
Under 14.
14.
Is it like three of them are under 14?
Yeah, they're participating in global challenges. Like 200 countries are participating, and these are the kids that are representing India. Like, that's a huge achievement for them. Yeah. I think it's Team Robo Lab, if I saw correctly.
The team has 5 people too. Our team has like 15 per like team.
No, our team is 50.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think that's right.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying like registered, right? They have 5 people.
Yeah.
That's like a really impressive. Like, these guys are really cool. What? Okay, yeah, let's go.
I have it back.
This is another
Did you
like
see that?
FTC.
Did you guys see what like that mechanism they use though? The intake that they use, like the spinning one.
That took it up, right?
Yeah.
I think, from what I understand, I think this year we're trying to implement that in
Yeah,
some way,
like
shape, or
some
form
way.
into our robot.
It's called a spin tape.
Yeah, we were actually talking about it just a while ago about something that can come up with like slides. So
But that's actually really pretty interesting. And I think they're using like the same controllers and stuff. It's a different game. I think Global probably has a different game from FGC. So they were using silicone tubing, right? For that intake? Yeah. That's crazy. Well, I don't know if that was silicone tubing or not, but that like the way it picked up all those game elements like really efficiently was pretty impressive. Yeah. Here, let's continue.
What I have in my hand is Team India's controller to their robot. I'm in possession of it because it was the only way in which I could get their attention for a chat. They're in the final stages of their preparation before they fly out to the first global robotics competition in Singapore. Now, what is the competition about? What are the rules going to be? Sai Pranav is going to start telling us about the rules. Yeah.
So the game lasts for 2.5 minutes, of which in the first 2 minutes, we have to pick up hydrogen and oxygen balls and collect them. The robot also has to use the electrolyzer to separate the hydrogen and oxygen balls. The oxygen balls being bigger remain on top, and the hydrogen balls being smaller are sent rolling down.
After this,
That spin take is insane.
Hold up. That's
For us-
completely different from.
Yeah, we're just doing like one, they're doing like 5.
Those game elements got picked up really efficient.
So is the point of the game to pick it up and then put it in the like
In the, I think the corner. I think that's what they were showing. Yeah. And I think I'm guessing from what I understand, they probably have to put the bigger one somewhere else and the smaller one somewhere else. That's what they have to separate. Like this is like super efficient and interesting. Like this is completely different from what we have seen at least. Like this is a different world.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah. And these are 5 kids. 5 kids. Yeah, let's continue.
the human player is near the electrolyzer and he picks up the oxygen balls which are left on top and throws them to the oxygen accumulator, which is a 10-meter distance. At the end of the 30 seconds and the conversion button is pressed, all the oxygen is dropped into the hydrogen tank to get a clean.
The human players do what? He's
throwing them across the entire.
This is actual skill. He has to like throw it into the box.
I'm not gonna lie.
So in FGC, as far as I know, like the human player, all they do is like place the game score
Yeah.
elements, right?
the pixel are
Yeah,
called.
but in
Yeah.
FGC, I guess they're and in this game
It's a little more interactive.
Much more involved. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot more
Wow.
Throwing it from across, that's crazy.
There's probably like some actual skill that goes into it.
Exactly, I think that actually takes lots of practice.
Like
Yeah.
AD driver
Is it at
practice.
least 10
Yeah,
meters?
but you looked at his, like, if you looked at his form, you could tell he's been like doing that. the whole
10
time.
meters is
Cricket ball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chris
cricket ball.
Paul.
Yeah. Anyway, let's continue.
clean source of energy. The alliance with the most points wins the game. The points for the balls are oxygen is 1 point and hydrogen is 1 point. And we also get 15 points for hanging.
I've heard that you are the pit engineer and you're the one who takes care of pit.
Wait, so which balls are oxygen and which balls are hydrogen?
I think he said the oxygen. Correct me if I'm wrong. The oxygen ones were bigger. I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's by size.
Yeah.
Also, the hanging thing,
Yeah.
yeah, similar thing in our game, right?
Cool. Maybe we should take a look at their hanging mechanism.
Yeah, their
Might take
mechanism.
inspiration from it.
It was so much more different than what we've used. Like
That looks like they're just using a linear slide.
Yeah,
So
slide.
let's continue.
Stops for the robot. So tell me what you do.
About me, I am a guy who loves watching MotoGP and F1 racing. I admire the pit stops of F1, so I wanted to implement it in real life. I got an opportunity over here. I have created SOPs and checklists, which helped me a lot and reduced my pit stop time from 30 minutes to 10 minutes. I'm now further aiming to get the pit stop time of 5 minutes.
Now, Apurva, how does it feel to be the only girl on the team?
So, as it is a saying in India that girls are not mostly in.
Two things. You see how he utilized his passion for something else and, related that to FTC? Like, that was pretty.
Yeah, I think that's what robotics is all about, right?
Yeah.
Finding what you are the most interested in, what you're the most like excited about, and putting that passion into what we do.
It's like this is what FIRST wants their participants to do. You know, they want to take their interest and passion and take it to the next level.
And it's like, this is why FIRST has so many different like parts, right? It's not just robotics and technology, right? It's like marketing, like he like the QA side, he said like checklists, right? That's
Yeah.
more like QA. So there's like so many different parts that anybody can join robotics and like find a place where they can like contribute.
I think this is why people say like robotics is for everyone.
Yes.
Everybody can find what they're interested in here. Anyway, let's
What was
continue.
your second?
Oh, and the second thing was that, do you see the linear slide? It looks like they came that entire robot with 2 linear slides. And I'm going to assume they're powered by high torque motors. So that's something that we should probably take inspiration when coming up with our own design.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting. I don't think we've ever thought of that. Here, let's take a look at that for sure.
the technical part, and they do not try the participating in the technical aspect. So I thought, why not break the stereotype and inspire more girls to participate in such competitions, so that we put a mark on the globe saying that even girls in India can do something other than just what they are told to do.
The students had not one, but many challenges to overcome on their journey to Singapore. Despite lack of technical resources and funding, they built a robotic catapult and launched a tennis ball 27 meters away, the farthest among all teams in India, and cleared 3 rounds of interviews to win a ticket to the global event. But for these students, who belong to a parents-led community club called Team Lego Goa,
I wonder how much funding they did get.
Yeah.
To do all of that with only 5 people to.
Definitely.
Especially in a place like India.
Like, I think honestly that must make a difference, especially for like a world championship team. From what they're saying, like that's the farthest that anybody's done in India, and they had to make it through multiple rounds of interviews. Like, I can only imagine how much technical experience and expertise like they have, right?
And I feel like there's so much like more like talent. There's 1 billion people in India, right?
Yeah.
And they came all the way on top, so it must be like really good.
Definitely, yeah.
a parents-led community club called Team Lego Goa, their homes were not big enough to contain their talent.
Till now we have been practicing in our homes for this robotic competition, and when the challenge was announced for a 7 meter by 7 meter arena, naturally we don't have such kind of huge places. We were lucky that we found this place. It's called as the Cap de Poa, which is the old Panchayat, a 1961 Portuguese place, and we have set up this lab 2 months ago, and this has become our second home. We cannot continue to have this place, but we aim that we can have such a bigger place for our future robotics.
Robotics competitions like First Global have been reporting increased participation of students from conflict countries or resource-deficient backgrounds. In fact, last year, India was represented by children who grew up in urban slums. A few years ago, the event saw the participation of 5 Syrian refugees. This year, we have the 5 students from Goa who wish to change the world with their love for science and technology.
That's like something First literally embodies.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, isn't it crazy that like they don't have all the equipment that we do, and they still are able to become like one of the best teams in the world? Right?
It really shows that passion is really what takes the team to the next level.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Is
and
it
also,
Syrian refugees last year, or was that this year?
I think that was a few years ago, they said.
Okay.
But like obviously they said that it was a 7 by 7 meter arena. That's absolutely insanely huge. Like
Way bigger than our like FGC.
yeah, like that must be such like an undertaking, right?
I've also heard FRC fields are really big.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think those compare to FGC?
See, I think FGC, would probably have a more of a complicated game.
Mm-hmm.
At least from what I'm seeing. Like this seems to be kind of something that I haven't seen before.
Mhm.
And FRC, for as complicated and expensive as it is, I think it's kind of like a step down from the global level of competition. At least that's what I'm thinking. What do you guys think?
I mean, even apart from the size of the field, I'm just like so fascinated about like, I mean, they don't have the equipment that we do, but through their passion, they're able to like, go to the next level. These 4 or 5 kids in India, surpass 1 billion other kids in that country.
And the 5 Syrian refugees, I can't even imagine like being a refugee and then being able to compete at a global robotics.
Yeah, they said they were living in urban slums too.
Yeah, that is just like insane.
Absolutely crazy. What determination, right?
Global's title sponsor, Lam Research, says this is the reason behind its intention to support the event.
The environmental issues that are challenging our country and globally challenging the world. It's not just enough for the developed nations to contribute. We need talent from around the world, from across all strata of society, to contribute to solving these hard problems that we face in the next few generations.
All of you tell me, how does it feel to be going to Singapore?
Sir, so for me it feels really great that I'm representing my country for the first time at such a global stage.
For me, it's very exciting because we are going to get to meet so many people, get to share thoughts, our ideas, our techniques, our strategies.
I think it will be crazy. So meeting other countries, other people, and also taking the knowledge.
It will be very thrilling, especially driving the robot during the matches.
I am looking forward to the entire experience of the competition.
That looks insane from what I saw.
Oh, wow.
And now you can actually clearly see the big and small balls too.
Yeah. Like that's such a because I think at the start of the video they were showing the balls and then they were like kind of like random. Like they weren't like set like yellow balls. They were like rainbow soccer color and whatnot. Which means, from what I understand, I think they didn't have the capability to have those yellow balls. Like they're so passionate that they were able to just find and work with whatever resources they had. And they've gotten so far. And they see it's so exciting. Like look at their excitement about being able to like, represent their country.
Yeah.
Also, how important do you think marketing plays a role in FGC?
It must be a big factor for a country's team to compete globally. Like that just must be such an honor and such a big deal.
Yeah.
The marketing must.
And also, I think like those like refugees, and then because they have like minimal equipment, they need sponsors and like bigger companies to step in and like give them that funding, right?
I mean, like to be able to represent your entire country, especially in India, like India, where the population is really large, you need to have some inspired capabilities.
I also wonder how they got all those connections too. Like it must have been so hard.
Yeah, it's easy to see the passion behind what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just another level of robotics that. Of course, we all strive to achieve, right? That's our goal, and they're living the so-called dream, right?
Yeah,
it's very cool.
Well, we wish all the 5 students from Goa the very best of luck. And with that, it's a wrap from Arundhati and me, Shruti, on this edition of Startup Street. Stay tuned to CNBC TV 18 for more news.
Wow, that's what I can say. Honestly, that is a little cliche, but it's inspiring.
I think like the biggest takeaway from that video was that where there's passion, there's always a way. So. Now we're going to be blind reacting to a few FTC videos that got put out this week. To start with, we actually have the FTC Center Stage Robot in 2 Days reveal by 6832 Iron Rain. I mean, we participate against this team. Like, big respect to this team. They come up with super crazy designs every year.
Iron Rain is like really hardworking. I haven't seen this video, so I'm actually really excited to see what it is. They've always impressed us. So.
Wait, where's Iron Rain from?
Iron Rain is they participate in the same region.
Participate in our region.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, ready?
I'm ready.
We are Iron Rain, and this is our center stage, Robot in 2 Days. Robot in 2 Days is a way for us as a team to take our fresh ideas coming out of the game reveal and experiment with them by building a preliminary competition robot during the weekend of the reveal. This process taught us a lot about the game mechanics and where to focus our design and engineering innovations. Before we could build our ideate, we needed to better understand the game. Looking at the center stage field, there were a couple of key things we noticed. 1. Effective scoring on the field would require a small, light, and fast robot to allow it to transit between the 2 sections of the field efficiently and hang from the rigging. In order to pass under the rigging, robots need to be at max 14 inches tall, and for the closed stage door, 11 inches. 2. The pixels are quite light, so the gripper needs to be easy to manipulate and quite light as well. The ability to maneuver 2 pixels at a time also presents
Is that a spatula?
I think that
I was gonna say, since pixels are so like hard to grip, it's kind
Yeah.
of surprising that they chose to do that.
Is that actually they're using a spatula?
That
That's
What is that?
I mean, I think this is just to see where they're going, where they're going for the rest of the season. I think this is just like a concept design.
Yeah, it's also kind of cool how they do this in 2 days.
Yeah,
2 days. First of all, 2 days is wild, and the second thing is, like those first 1 minute of the video told us so much about the competition that we should probably take into account.
Honestly, like I do marketing and I love this video so far. Like the pacing, the storytelling, the explanation. Like this is all something that we should all strive to have.
Yes.
They're very good with this kind of stuff.
Can we also talk about how in the past FTC seasons, like having a size, like the size really didn't matter about your robot. It's just as long as it really just completed the functions. But for this competition, like specifically, it's kind of crazy how
it's not just 18 by 18.
Yeah,
like, there's so many different heights you have to consider.
I feel like we're going to see a lot more smaller robots than closer to like the max size.
I remember Iron Man's robot last year was like huge, right?
Yeah, it was a. Yeah, it was really big. It was like
that circle. Yeah.
The turntables. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
They're really versatile with their designs. Like they have a very good understanding.
Designs like I've never seen before.
We can see this for sure. Like they're using a spatula, right?
Yeah.
They just think outside the box.
Yeah, that's huge. Anyway, let's continue.
Activities for transfer systems where one pixel is scored while the other is picked up. The large distances between pixel intake and the backdrop also means that robot design should focus on reducing turns and rotations to decrease cycle times. 3. Because of the orientation of the wings, there will be intense competition for the white pixel stacks, meaning a quick cycle time is imperative to remain competitive. Intaking from the stack should be a priority, as intaking from the wings will be difficult because of their positioning. 4.
So I was gonna ask, how important do you guys think the mosaic's gonna be this year? Because I feel like when you're doing the outtake, you have to think about the orientation and like, there's gonna be so much driver practice that goes into the outtake.
I think for like a first iteration robot, like especially if you're going to be competing in the earlier competitions, I think a robot that focuses more on cycling will be better.
Yeah, I feel like in the first iteration, like competitors aren't really gonna think about like the mosaic and like at first, but then like
Wow, that's just what we're assuming. But like, watch a team pull up to competitions.
gonna do that.
Listen, I honestly, like, I think that's what's going to differentiate an amazing Worlds team from a really good states or driving kind of team, right?
I think if you can somehow create a robot design that can create mosaics and cycle like effectively, that's really
Yeah.
What did you guys think of their outtake?
Oh yeah, the launching was crazy. Well, that was launching, right?
It seemed to have like a not always land on the thing, but if they were able, this isn't 2 days.
No.
So imagine what they're able to do in a little more.
Is this their final outtake or are they just testing?
Wait,
we don't know yet, right?
Is it?
Because maybe they're just testing right now. That's why they're like launching a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just thinking, like, what do you guys think about that mechanism?
That's not. I don't think that doesn't count as a launching penalty, right? Because it's aiming downward.
It doesn't count as a launching penalty because I think
Wait, what's the launch?
It's trying its best to place it, right?
Wait, with that mechanism, they can't really score if the pixels get up to like the second or third level, right?
Yeah.
No, they probably, do they have an extension there?
Maybe they have a slide.
I don't see it. It just looks like a singular arm.
Yeah, I guess you're right. They must not be able to go any
Yeah,
higher.
they probably just did that
Yeah,
in 2 days.
it looks like an arm connected to a servo. Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
Mechanics and where to focus our design and engineering innovations. Before we could build or ideate, we needed to better understand the game. Looking at the center stage field, there were a couple of key things we noticed. 1. Effective scoring on the field would require a small, light, and fast robot to allow it to transit between the two sections of the field efficiently and hang from the rigging. In order to pass under the rigging, robots need to be at max 14 inches tall, and for the closed stage door, 11 inches. 2. The pixels are quite light, so the gripper needs to be easy to manipulate and quite light as well. The ability to maneuver 2 pixels at a time also presents lots of opportunities for transfer systems where one pixel is scored while the other is picked up. The large distances between pixel intake and the backdrop also means that robot design should focus on reducing.
We definitely need to do that. We need to get like a spreadsheet and see like what like the launching is worth like 20 points. We need to put everything in a spreadsheet and just optimize it.
From what I understand, I think we
did something of the sort.
Yeah.
It wasn't like as optimized as it is.
I think last year we had a spreadsheet kind of created for that.
Yeah.
This year I think we have a separate kind of like a group of people that are working on like optimizing.
Yeah, like
that.
a few meetings ago we were talking about strategy with what's his name?
Coach of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were discussing like what types of things we should go for the first iteration.
Definitely, yeah, that's definitely something you kind of have to take into consideration if you want to be competitive.
Do you create the robot first and then come up with the strategy, or do you come up with the strategy and create a robot based off that strategy?
I think it's strategy first, right? You want the best robot for the best strategy so you can score the most points, right?
Or do you just create a versatile robot that can do everything, but not the...
I feel like for first iteration robots, it should be a little bit more focused, and then you kind of add those factors later on.
Yeah.
Maybe.
See, I think that's what differentiates a Worlds robot from like another robot, right? The idea of having a strategy first, so then you can make a robot that has all the strengths that you need.
Yeah.
So that's very cool.
There are definitely different approaches you can take to
I
this.
think like the most important thing is that it has to be consistent, especially for those first few meets where everyone is exploring like new strategies. I think a robot has to be like generally consistent.
Also, I don't know if you guys are looking at the same thing, but this is like a diagram of what the robot is.
Yeah, we're on the same.
Yeah. So like they have a claw for their intake, then they transfer that into like the spatula, and then that just like throws it onto like the backboard.
Yeah. I'm just surprised that like
that makes it a little more.
we're trying like so many different ways of throwing the pixels. Like me and the rest of the cat team, we're just trying to throw the pixels to see like in what orientation will it like, you know.
The only thing is like I just don't know if the claw intake is the best, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The claw intake's a little iffy. I mean, it's like.
Do you guys think a spin take is probably more efficient?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, then what about picking off staff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I think one is gonna be interesting. I'll say that much right now. Like meat one is gonna be very interesting.
It's the fact that I think if you're gonna do a claw, you can't have one angle rotation. I think you're gonna need two, because if you have a stack, right, and you're trying to grab it like this at an angle, you're going to be carrying more than one.
Okay, guys, here, let's continue the video.
Turns and rotations to decrease cycle times. 3. Because of the orientation of the wings, there will be intense competition for the white pixel stacks, meaning a quick cycle time is imperative to remain competitive. Intaking from the stack should be a priority, as intaking from the wings will be difficult because of their positioning. 4. Cameras will need to be able to detect April tags, team props, and pixel stacks for maximum scoring potential. Vision pipelines are extreme.
Yeah, I recognize that claw. Do you guys remember?
We did like a really similar thing.
Yeah, right there. Actually, look at it.
It's right way.
It's right there, yeah.
Wait, where?
Show the
Here,
camera.
pull it up real quick. I took off the other claw because I want to see if it was compatible with the.
Oh, this right here.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Y'all see this right here. The other.
You might have to bring it a little closer.
No, it's not that area.
Yeah, like, we actually did something like this last year, so.
Yeah, we modeled all
I know we had a lot of
of
servo issues with it.
Wait, it's almost exactly like it. So like it takes it up and it transfers just like this, right?
Yeah, and then into it. Well, this was angled before. I think we switched it to vertical at the end of the season.
Yeah, we were concerned about the claw not being able to pick up the pixel properly, but they seem to be making it work most of the time. So
yeah,
maybe we might have to kind of play with it, see if it works. Very interesting, yeah. Anyway, here, let's continue.
Extremely important for autonomous scoring, since a majority of available points rest on placing pixels in spots based on the location of the team prop. 5. The drone will be a major point of interest in this year's game, especially with regard to what constitutes a legal drone. Lots of experimentation with drone designs and folding techniques could help identify designs that allow for a greater degree of control. 6. We also decided to model the point system in a spreadsheet so we can get an idea of where the points were. We plan to take this a lot further with what-if analysis around different cycle times projected to be achievable as the season progresses, and how we should optimize our points. Many of these key points went into our design for Robot in 2 days. Looking at a diagram of the robot, we can point out key design choices. The entire robot chassis is 11 inches tall, which allows it to drive underneath the closed stage door and rigging for maximum mobility. It is a basic Mecanum and rev rail chassis. The gripper is a simple pincher gripper that we salvaged from an early iteration of a power play robot that can grab 2 pixels at a time from both the ground and the stack. It is controlled by a servo and features squinches to better grip the pixels. In order to limit the rotation of our robot and allow it to move in a straight line when cycling, we implemented a transfer system along with the gripper. The gripper picks up pixels and transfers them to a pixel holder, also known as the scoopagon. The scoopagon holds the pixels while they are flipped up onto the backdrop. To allow for an extended deposit range, the scoopagon is placed on a linear slide that allows the deposit system to extend out and place pixels onto the backdrop, ideally to create taller sets of pixels that can get the set line bonuses. While our robot...
Yeah, I think this is kind of hitting on the same part that we were worried about. For when we try to flip it on the board, it just won't land because again, it needs to be a very specific point.
Yeah.
So I think that's some of the problems they're also dealing with.
I think it's also cool how they like use this like just these 2 days, and now they like have a good idea of what to do for the rest of the
They know exactly what's hard about it. Like they even said like it changed how they fundamentally think about the game, right?
Yeah.
Also, did you notice how small the robot is? Like it just like glides under that whole thing. Like, it's 11 inches tall.
I think we're gonna see a lot of small robots for sure.
Especially this season.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, for a robot in 2 days, like Iron Rain, I'm like super impressed. Y'all always never fail to impress us with y'all's robots.
Yeah, y'all are actually really, really good at what you guys do. So we hope to see you guys at competition. Okay, let's just finish this.
Ideally to create taller sets of pixels that can get the set line bonuses. While our robot did achieve some level of success, there were a lot of problems that we discovered that impacted our understanding of the game. We thought about using a double tape measure lift prior team members had built. It definitely had the power required, but it needed to spot directly above the center of mass of this robot, and we couldn't figure that out in time.
Wait. How does that work?
The double tape mechanism? Wow.
Oh, so
apparently it has the right amount of, it has
there's
the power,
like a motor inside a measuring tape which like spins it and lifts it up.
And this is something made by prior team members? What game do you guys think they use this for? What is it?
This is actually a pretty good idea. It's just like
It might be a little bit difficult to implement. Maybe
I think that's
design a robot around that.
Yeah, I think that's where CAD comes in. I mean, if you put this design on CAD, you can actually see where the center of gravity is, and that's where you can place it.
Well, CAD-wise, what do you think about like this design they have so far?
The robot 2 days?
Mm-hmm.
CAD-wise, like, I'm just surprised on how if they did CAD before building, like,
Yeah,
I'm just
sometimes
surprised
it takes us a whole day to take, or not even a day, like longer than days.
I don't think I could CAD that entire robot in 2 days, like, honestly speaking. Just CADing it definitely would not take me.
They might have went straight to building.
they went like idea CAD building. Like they just did like opposite. Like they did building, found their problems, started CADing idea.
I mean, that's a pretty unique approach to actually see
Yeah.
what the competition holds.
That's
But at
probably
least
what-
now they have like a good approach on everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they know what to do.
That's the robot 2 days mentality, right? So. Okay, guys. Final thoughts?
That's just really impressive that they can even do this in 2 days. You know.
Successful, I mean, and what it did.
And I wonder what they're gonna bring to competition too. They always pull up with something.
I'm almost
really
scared of
unique.
what they're gonna bring, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's-
what is it, like?
In Freight Frenzy, they had a robot, I think that functioned on 3 wheels. It would extend, okay, now we're used to seeing robots extend vertically.
Mhm.
This robot extended horizontally. It was so crazy.
Wait, that's like Tech Dibs last year.
Yeah,
You see Tech Dibs.
But it was like not,
It's like-
instead of like their outtake, it was their like their drivetrain was the one that was extended.
Interesting.
That's, I don't know.
They have some. They're outside the box thinkers, like you guys said. Like that's just the way they kind of operate.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I'm very excited to see what they're gonna do.
Yeah, for
this
sure.
season. Okay, after that, now we're gonna move on to a different robot in a few hours video. I think we'll start off with robot in 30 hours reveal. It's the FGC Center Stage.
This is even
2023 to 2024. You were saying?
This is even smaller than 2 days.
Yeah.
Wait.
30 hours.
This
a
is
short
7129 Robo Raiders. This was actually in our league, Adventures League last year.
Oh wait.
Wait,
Robo Raiders. Okay, like Robo Raiders last year, or was that in y'all's league? You
No, I
remember
think,
what
I
they did
think it
last
might have
year?
been your.
Robo Raider sounds really familiar.
It sounds familiar.
They were definitely in.
Or was that? Oh, that was Robo Players, right?
Oh.
We're mixing them up, I think. But this is really interesting. Like they have an entire channel just called Robot in 30 Hours. Like 30 hours. Obviously, it was the last video was 2 days, so that's 48 hours. This is even shorter of a time.
30 hours.
So let's see what they can come up with. Maybe we can compare them.
I mean, to be fair, Iron Ring did mention that they spent 1 day for building the field, the other day for the robots.
Yeah.
Let's just check this one.
Let's check this out.
First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm tired of the way that things have been. Oh, ooh, the way that things have been. Oh.
Off the bat, like I already see their intake. They're using it as a spin take or a coin slot.
I couldn't get it.
I can't really tell.
I can't really tell what it is. It doesn't look like it's gonna take at all. Though.
But the video editing is just like it's actually good. Like
They're very fun. Yeah.
I'm interested.
Second, don't you tell me what you think that I can be. I'm the one at the sail. I'm the master of my sea. Oh, ooh, the master of my sea. Oh,
How much do you guys think the outtake can hold? Was that 3 pixels? 2 pixels?
I mean, in the competition, you can only carry 2 at a time.
I think
He's showing 4 at a time.
Oh.
4 at a time? No, I'm pretty sure it's 2.
No, I think there was a cut.
Yeah, I
there was
think
a cut. It can't. Yeah, it can't be more than 2.
Also, did you guys notice he has like a guide? Like there's like a whole like plastic piece that like guides the pixels down. So
Yeah, I saw that.
It seems like it slows down the delivery of the robot, but definitely for something in 30 hours, like that's definitely very important, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. You guys think a guide would be efficient, or?
I think, especially with mosaics, I mean, if you're gonna do something like that just drops it from the top of the what's this called, the board, that drops from the top of the board, you're definitely gonna need a guide. If you want to focus on mosaics, that is.
For sure.
I was broken from a young age, taking my soak into the masses, writing my poems for the few that look at me, took to me, shook at me, feeling me, singing from heartache, from the pain, taking my message from the veins, speaking my lesson from the brain, seeing the beauty through the. You make me a believer, believer.
Zone
That
1
is-
or bonus?
That's
Wow, that
I really didn't even do the
airplane
drone.
Yeah.
Also, was that a piston that they're using? Like, did you see that mechanism? Like,
That was, they launched fast. And I think they specifically chose an airplane design that isn't too good per se, right? Like it kind of spun and like kind of died down there.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's so crazy because, like, you know how zone 1 is where you want your adrenaline, right? For the most points. Zone 1 was, I don't know, it's just like.
also,
I mean, if
look at
they.
the plane. Like, the back is like, they bent it in a certain way.
Oh, so it
it's-
spins. Yeah. Okay, makes so much. That's so cool.
I hope this, like, airplane can, like, consistently land in zone 1.
Let the bullets fly, let them rain. My life, my love, my time, it came from. You make me a believer, believer. Third things third, send a prayer to the ones up above. All the hate that you've heard has turned your spirit to a dove. Oh,
That's an interesting ending.
Yeah, just a flex.
just in general, that was
It was crazy how the robot had, like, they were changing the angle of their airplane launcher.
Yeah.
I think-
Yeah, that's
So
actually
they can
cool.
shoot from multiple spots on the field, I think.
Another thing is like you see like all this black around their entire robot. That's like
Uh-huh.
push pixels. That's
Oh
like,
yeah, that's
Yeah, we definitely
definitely
need
gonna be needed.
definitely a good. Actually, honestly, this is a surprisingly thought out design for something that was made in 30 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. And I like the way they launched the airplane. Like that was definitely something out of the box. I haven't seen it.
Definitely gonna take inspiration.
Especially the inspiration's everywhere, honestly.
Yeah.
This is great.
So final thoughts, guys.
Amazing, inspirational.
Yeah, I mean, after looking at both these videos in 30 hours and 2 days, I mean, there's so much to take away from these videos. Very informative about the competition itself and different robot designs that make it optimal.
The designs are completely different, so.
Definitely.
This season is going to be so interesting. Like I'm actually super hyped about it. Like this is completely different than something that we did last year. Like it's another step up, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what we were ready for.
There's so many different moving parts, right? The drone, the beam, and like there's just so many different parts where everyone can have like a say and do something different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot of new ideas this season.
Yeah. When it comes to inspiration, there's definitely a lot of it around, right?
Yeah.
Please meet our sponsors. Thanks East Plano Islamic Center, SolidWorks, Cafe de Khan, Sarah's Amal Biz LLC for your precious and invaluable support and sponsorships and take us to the next level. Again, thank you very much.